If you've got a tractor and a field like this, you already know this ain't just grass. It's work left undone. Today I'm putting the brush hog to it. No sales pitch, just showing what works, what doesn't, and how to make this thing earn its keep. If you've ever looked at your land and thought, I'll get to it, consider this your sign. It always gets thicker near this tree line. Just nasty. This is some nasty stuff down here. So we're going to get it cut. We're going to use the 6-foot bush hog because it is, there's a lot of stumps and things out here. So the 6-footer is going to work just a little better than the batwing. But it is nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. One thing I hope is, I hope I don't hit a fawn, a small deer of some sort, because they like to bed in this stuff. But yeah, so we're going to do from that tree line across here. It's probably an acre, but it's got to get cut. Woo, it's nasty. Some of this I might want to back in. But I think I've gotten all the stumps out of it. Now it's just a bunch of holes. And I've got my bush hog raised pretty high. Just in case. This is not a very friendly field at all. So we'll go slow. It's 174 degrees on the temperature. I'll see 179, maybe 180. 458.3 on the clock for those of you keeping score at home. But you get to see how the tractor undulates. That there's just holes everywhere. Some of this stuff, look at that. This is the nastiest field I got. But I think I've got it cleaned up enough to where like it's not going to damage the tractor or the bush hog if I go slow enough. If that makes sense. Especially if I keep that bush hog high. Because this ain't a golf course, right? If you're going to buy a bush hog, buy a heavy duty bush hog. Don't buy a standard duty. Because you're like, well, I don't really need a heavy duty. You will. Eventually you will. Especially if you're, I'll say this, owning a tractor is just like owning a truck and a trailer. You get a lot of friends when you buy a tractor. Hey, can you come do this for me? Can you come do that for me? Or can I borrow it? And you know, that's a different story, right? You can't be borrowing stuff. Could be loaning out stuff, I should say. But this stuff is thick and nasty. I only cut it, I probably cut it twice a year. Because I wanted to kind of get like this again before deer season, so the deer feel safe in it. But cut out like paths or walkways or trails that the deer can walk through but feel safe on each side. There's a stump I need to get. I screwed up when I did this. What I did is I brought a mini excavator down here and dug out all these stumps. But I didn't fill the holes in good when I dug the stump out, if that makes sense. So now I've got all these holes in there. What I should have done was just use my stump grinder. Then the hole wouldn't have been as big, and the terrain would not have been as rough. Like I say, and because like sometimes I see these big thick patches of grass and stuff, weeds, brushes, thistles, and I don't know if there's a stump in there, so it kind of scares me a little bit. If you got a cab working in the woods, you always got to look up. That's why I don't like bringing my bat wing down here. You know, obviously with the bat wing, I'd have this knocked out in 20 minutes. But it's just too nasty. Not necessarily the bat wing couldn't handle the conditions of the field. It's just very bumpy, very uneven. So I'm not sure how the 754 would do bringing it back down here in those type of conditions. I mean, it might do fine. I don't know. Here's a limb that I'm gonna back over right quick. That way I don't have to keep running over it, wondering if it's going to catch a hydraulic line or something. Right there's a big old stump with the dark green patches right there. There's a big stump in there. So what I can do is I can try to shave it around it and try to back up to it. Oh, there's another one right there. I hope that showed up on camera, but that's as close as I'm getting to those. I mean, this stuff, look, look how high that is. That's higher than the tractor. I mean, granted, that stuff ain't thick, but the stuff under it is. There's all kind of sticks laying on the ground, stuff like that. But I love it. I love bush hogging. It's my favorite thing to do in a tractor is to bush hog. And that's why I enjoy it. We got 75 acres out here. And I enjoy maintaining it while I'm old, but I'm still young enough to get out here and bush hog as much as I can and keep it cleaned up, you know. For those of you wondering, I always get asked, is the cab that noisy? No, I say it pretty much in every video, don't I? I just like listening to good music. So I use high quality earphones. Big hole. Also, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers in 2025. If you haven't subscribed, we'd appreciate you doing that to help us reach our goal. The cool thing about reaching 100,000 subscribers is it's a team effort. And you guys, you'll join my team. I appreciate it. It doesn't cost you a dime. It's all free. Just hit the subscribe. If you're watching on the TV, it's a little difficult. I don't really know how to tell you to hit the subscribe button on the TV, but if you're on a phone or whatever, it's just underneath the video. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Doggone obstacle course in here, ain't it? hit 176 on the thermostat. I'm really surprised it's that cool, because this tractor likes 179 and it's kind of warm outside. So it's kind of surprising to me that it's 176. I thought it would be 179 by now. Most of this wood on the ground is probably rotten, so that's a good thing. Not too horrible on the bush hog. Bush hogs come in different variations, different models, different sizes, obviously different thickness of metal. Some have chains on them, some have rubber flaps on them to help some have mulching kits on them. So really, just whatever you need for your particular situation is what kind of bush hog you want to look into getting. Just don't buy a cheap one. We're big fans of Homestead, obviously, but you know, there's tons of good ones out there. Let's go backwards. You know what I'm saying? Get a different look at it. Like I say, we're not cutting a golf course here. At the back end of this spot right here. Do that right quick. One more little spot that I can back into right here. And another thing about using a bush hog versus a bat wing is that bush hog is static. It just stays there and it doesn't articulate. Where if you're pulling a drawbar bat wing, you know, it follows you a little different. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I prefer that bush hog. I mean, I prefer the bat wing for many reasons. One, you cut 12 foot wide versus 6 foot wide. And two, I like how it pulls via the drawbar versus connected to the 3-point hitch. It's hit 177, but I noticed that when I hit that reverse pedal, the temperature drops up. The temperature jumps up. Like I say, I won't cut this for another 6 months or so. Still running 177. One thing you want to think about when you're, like, this is only, like I say, it's about an acre. One thing you want to think about, you're going to start cutting more than that, is getting out, cleaning out your grill. Also, what you want in a bush hog is a slip clutch. That's a nasty stump right there. Come back this way, you want to? Me too. Yeah, it's just nasty. Alright. I don't know how I had that camera this day. Y'all might be able to look at my nostrils or something. Little patch left, and we will be finito. Is finito a word? completo. Yeah, so this is it's probably an acre. I would guess it's probably an acre. So if it was a nice, even hayfield type acre, you could get it cut pretty quick. Not so much in this stuff. And 180, 183, which means my air filter is probably getting some debris in it. So, but I can finish. I've only got this little spot right here to left to cut. And 183 ain't nothing on the temperature, so we will clean it when we're finished. And you don't really start worrying about it until it gets to the 200 range. Always look up. Definitely don't want to break your cab, especially on a tree that doesn't look threatening. Does that make sense? Like it's like, oh, I'm not going to hit that, or those branches don't look like it could tear my cab up. Who knows, right? Yeah, good. Just 5 minutes left. One little triangle left. Well, I didn't see any baby deer, so that's a good sign. I've done that before. I've run deer off while you're bush hogging. You guys ever done that? And it also refreshes my memory on like where all the holes are and stuff. Alright. I think that'll do it. I think we got our money's worth. Yeah, you can see it's starting to collect a little, well, on that side, but let's go look at the air filter and get that cleaned up. Yeah, check this out. Look at that. So you got to clean these screens. There's 2 of them. There's one there, and then there's one on this side. Look at that. It's not a bad idea to carry a blower with you when you're doing this kind of stuff, but I knew I was only going to be out here doing the acre. So I'll blow it off. If I do more than that, I'll blow it off. Let's take off this external one here, and then we'll take the air filter out. You got to keep proper maintenance on your tractor, and it'll serve you a long, long time. It don't actually look that bad. Take this screen off here. Only thing I don't like about this screen is it's got these 2 butterfly nuts on it. Wing nuts, butterfly nuts, whatever you call them. And they're just kind of difficult to get to sometimes. I wish there was a different type of fastening mechanism you could use to do that with. Here. Don't let me lose that, okay? And then there's one over here. You kind of move these hoses out of the way. I guess you could also do this. That would help some. But you got to get this clean. Oops. I guess you could do that too. Yeah, clean that up. So cleaning the screens does two things, right? It obviously helps the airflow. Be careful not to damage these. It obviously helps the airflow of the machine, but it also, while you've got it cut off, it allows the engines to cool some. I should have gloves on doing this. But I'll take a blower to that when I get back. But super important, your engine has to breathe. All right, got her all did. Got everything cleaned up. Temperature's back down to, well, it's 172 now. That's what you get for sitting in the shade. And well, actually just dropped to 170. It'll go back up though. Hey, appreciate you guys watching. Take care. God bless.